Ladies and gentlemen, I'm all zooted up on cold brew. I've thought a lot about it. I've accepted my fate that my social credit score is about to go down. Xi Jinping is going to come here and personally kneecap me. But I do think that nobody should buy a Chinese bike in a box. I've kind of thought a lot about this. I've written a lot up. I've got the conclusions here on my laptop. And look, I'm not saying that everybody needs to buy a Ducati. Everybody needs to have a super expensive, fancy bike. But I really think that these Chinese bike in a box things are just awful value for money. So today, I'm going to make my case why you should probably not buy one of these things. Let's get into it. So first, let me define what the hell I'm talking about here. I think a lot of people get confused when I say, oh, Chinese bike bad. I'm not talking about reputable stuff like the CF Moto bikes. Those are actually pretty good, and they actually provide the engines for KTM and a lot of other manufacturers, and they've been known for making good stuff for a while. What I'm talking about specifically is stuff like the Boom BD250 that I recently bought, stuff that's distributed by the Venom Motorsports. These like knockoff, no-name, like weirdo Alibaba bikes that show up by some distributor in a box to your door. That's what I'm talking about specifically. It's those motorcycles. I mean, you've seen the type. The Boom BD250 is basically a reskinned Ninja 300 that has nothing to do with the original 300. So basically, I'm talking about those. Okay, so my first point here is the build quality is extremely questionable, okay? The frame welds are super suspect on these bikes. I have no idea about the reliability after even 3 or 4 or 5,000 miles on these things. I think that they probably will not withstand the test of time, and I sure as hell am not gonna put 5,000 miles on the Boom BD250 to test that for you guys. I know you guys love to see me suffer, you love to see me do some weird stuff, but even for me, that's a fate worse than death to put myself 5,000 miles in the saddle of a BD250. Maybe I can get Nico the intern to just do that, and then we can see about the reliability on these bikes. Also, who the hell knows where that engine came from? I'm pretty sure it's like a Harbor Freight 250 at this point. I have no idea. There's no markings on the engine. We have no clue where it's from. It's a little bit weird. And honestly, the bike just isn't really safe. I PDI'd it, and yes, I saw some of your comments. You guys said, Yam, you didn't do a good job PDIing it. Well, guess what? I'm not a professional. I'm not a dealership. I did the best I could. I kind of figured it out on the fly. Could I have done some more research? Sure. Would that have been on brand? Probably not, but here we are. Here we go. It's me and you in this video. It is what it is, okay? But I do think that the bikes themselves, for people who are not mechanics, not professionals, are a little bit unsafe. They definitely have to do a very thorough once-over, make sure all the bolts are Loctite, tightened, torqued to spec, and then you're going to want to make sure that bike's going to be running properly, because I don't think they're that safe. For me as well, it's just bad value for money, okay? You might think that these bikes are cheap, and on the face of it, yes, like some wretched 200cc Chinese bike in a box that you get for $2,000 is cheap to purchase for the initial purchase price. But the Boom BD250, I got it for $3,089 delivered, plus tax, title, and license. I'm probably gonna be in about $3,500 on this motorcycle. For what I'm getting, that's actually really bad value for money. For $3,500, as I showed you guys in a video previously, you can get an awesome used Japanese bike that has more power, more features, more cylinders, more reliability, just better everything for the same money. I really don't think that these are good value for money. So yeah, on the Boom, you're getting an anemic 250cc single-cylinder engine that I'm not even sure if it is a 250. We're gonna be doing a lot of testing with this bike to see if their claims are even close to reality, but I definitely wanna get it dyno tuned and see all of the 11 horsepower that it probably makes. The big thing I wanna talk about here too is that these are impossible to resell. It's bad value for money, but then also you're never gonna recoup those costs once you buy this bike. You'll spend $3,400 relatively on this motorcycle, and then if you put it up for sale, people are gonna very quickly see that it's junk and it's some weird Chinese bike, and literally nobody's gonna buy it. Also, the fact that you can purchase them brand new for so cheap also means that there's no used market market for them. Whereas if you were to purchase a used Japanese bike for $3,000, you could probably run it for a whole year and then resell it for $2,800. That's really common for people to do. So the fact that you can't resell these things anywhere kind of defeats the purpose, in my opinion, as well. Unless you want to keep it forever, which by their definition, these bikes are kind of disposable and not really worth keeping. Also, these bikes just kind of reinforce bad corporate behavior. And look, I'm not sitting here saying I'm the most patriotic American and I don't want to support China, because we all support China, whether you're on TikTok or you're buying crap on Amazon. But the thing is, if I have a choice in the matter, I would prefer to not put my money towards companies that are blatantly copying and ripping off quality, reputable Japanese stuff. Like, these bikes are knockoffs. I personally don't feel comfortable supporting it. And you might say, but yeah, you supported it, you bought it. But I feel like I'm doing the Lord's work by showing you guys on the internet to not buy these things. So by me buying one of these bikes, I've hopefully reduced the sales by at least a couple hundred for Venom Motorsports. And I'm just waiting to get the cease and desist letter at this point. It's ridiculous. And my last point, it's a little vain, and you may disagree with me, but unless you have 0 friends, I don't think you should buy this bike. If you buy one of these Chinese bike in a box and you have other friends who ride motorcycles or know about motorcycles, they will clown you mercilessly, and you kind of deserve it if you buy this bike. So unless you have nobody else in your life that knows anything about motorcycling, then I guess you're okay. But if you have anybody in your life that knows anything about bikes, they're gonna see you with this bike and be like, why on earth did you buy this weird knockoff bike? And you're gonna be seen as a bit of a cheapskate, and your life will just be terrible. I don't know what to tell you. So guys, do it the right way. Invest in a quality motorcycle, get something used, Japanese, maybe even European if you're feeling a little spicy for your first bike. There are so many good options out there. You don't have to get one of these bikes in a box. I really don't think that they're worth it, and ultimately, just disregard the Boom BD250, unless you're like me and you're just trying to make memes out of it. But at that point, you know, you're a god among men. You're a YouTuber. You're the lowest rung on society, yet somehow exalted in front of all these people. I don't know what the hell I'm saying anymore. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.
红彤彤哎，心中的太阳是毛泽东哎，他领导我们的解放哎，人民翻身当家做主人。